Group B is infamous throughout motorsport as the golden age of rally, a time when the ultimate rally machines, piloted by some of the greatest drivers in motorsport history, dominated global motorsport. But what happened to the cars after their tragic ban? The truth is that Group B continued to live on through the young European Rallycross Championship, and persevered into a second golden age of Group B machinery, bringing the same passion and enthusiasm from their time at Rally into a new environment, where the fans could witness these grand titans clash like gladiators in a coliseum through intense wheel-to-wheel combat. The cars continued to evolve, edging closer and closer to their ultimate form, and thrived in their new life in Rallycross. Rallycross was born in 1967 out of a need for a weather-independent sport to fill in the gaps within British broadcaster ITV's program. The idea was simple. Over a mixed surface track, approximately 1 kilometre in length, a couple dozen drivers would race 6 at a time through a series of qualifying races, until the final positions would be set through a series of final races, with the top 6 drivers going head-to-head in an ultimate race for the overall victory. The sport would make its debut race at Liddon Hill on February 4th of that year. The race was chaotic, with intensely tight racing and several collisions unlike any other motorsport, exciting all those who witnessed. From then on, the sport would continue to grow, first spreading to Europe with the ERC forming in 1973 under the FIA, and eventually going global. With the FIA entering the picture, so did their rules, regulations, and most importantly for this video, their cars. The governing body created 2 divisions. Division 1 consisted of 2-wheel drive homologized Group A vehicles, while Division 2 composed of modified 4-wheel drive cars, originally homologized for Group A and Group B regulations. From this point on, Group B cars would slowly make their way into Rallycross, with the first major group of Group B titans entering Rallycross for the 1986 British Rallycross Grand Prix. The race consisted of 5 Ford RS200s and 1 MG Metro 6R4. But it was just a taste of what was to come the next year, in 1987, when Group B would truly take over Rallycross. Coinciding with Group B's ban from the WRC the year prior, Rallycross provided a lifeline for the Group B machinery to continue racing. With the start of the 1987 ERC season at Austria's Nordmund Ring, the Group B influence was immediately prevalent, with Audis, Peugeots, Lancias, and especially Fords filling the paddock amongst the regular Rallycross customers. And despite Jukka Peltari topping the field in his first outing with his Porsche 911, it wouldn't take long for Finnish driver Seppo Niittymaki to gain his footing, dominating the weekend and claiming victory with his new Peugeot 205. Niittymaki would continue to build upon his strong form, winning a hat-trick of events to start the season while the other drivers struggled to acquaint themselves with their new machinery. It would be round 4 in Spain where Niittymaki would first meet his match. Near Girona at the new Circuit de Sille, Peltari would set the pace again with his Porsche, with Niittymaki following behind in 3rd by the second heat until gearbox issues saw Niittymaki fall down the grid. 2 drivers would rise after this, setting the fastest times heading into the finals. Matti Alamäki, after struggling to adjust for the initial rounds of the season, was fastest in his Lancia Delta S4, with Ole Arnesen just behind in 2nd with his Quattro. Alamäki would sweep the final, however, dominating the field for his first win of the season. Round 5 would arrive in France at the Circuit de Torte under insanely wet weather, with torrential downpours leading up to the event leaving the track a muddy mess for practice and qualifying, with the surface drying up for a slippery and dusty circuit for race day. This inherently leveled the playing field, forcing all drivers to adjust to the changing conditions and led to many intense moments on track throughout the weekend. One of these moments came as Matti Alamäki drove over the top of Will Galop's MG Metro 6R4 in the first heat, with Galop being forced to fight his way through the rest of the heats. With intense battles throughout heats 2 and 3, Galop would eventually make his way through to the finals. Ole Arnesen would take the lead in the final but struggled to shake the ferocious Galop, with the pair fighting throughout the race. Arnesen would just edge out the win. The next event would mark another start for the ERC, with the event taking place at Mondello Park, Ireland for the first time. Because of this, a small influx of British rally drivers would enter, looking for a taste of rallycross action. Most notably, Mark Rennison would pilot a Ford, getting it through to the finals by the second qualifying, going up against Arnesen and Alamäki, who would also get their respective machinery into the finals. Heading into the first corner, Alamäki would hold on to the lead, despite Renison crashing into the back of him and having to retire. From then on, Alimakki would slip away from the rest of the field and steal another win. Arriving in Belgium for the small Glosser circuit, championship leader Niedermacki would set the pace by stealing the fastest laps in the first and second heats, securing his place on pole position, with Martin Schanche securing second place in his Ford alongside Niedermacki on the front row. Once the race began, Schanche would peel off into the lead, gaining lots of distance over the rest of the grid into the first corner. With Niedermacki unable to fight ahead, he was forced to focus on defending from behind, as Alimakki was adamantly fighting for second place. Schanche would go on to seal his first victory of the season, putting an end to the difficult start he had been having. It would be a familiar front row in the Netherlands across the border at Euro Circuit, as Niedermacki would claim pole once again, with Schanche lining up alongside. Schanche would again beat Niedermacki in the drag to the first corner, with Ole Arnesen swinging around the outside to snatch second place from Niedermacki. Niedermacki, struggling to gain a footing in the race, eventually dropped down to fourth as Alimakki gained third. In the lead from the get-go, Arnesen and the rest just couldn't keep up with Schanche, who would seal another victory in the Benelux. The drivers would then arrive at Lingus Motorbahn, Norway, to another wet and muddy circuit that would benefit the locals, as driver Tor Bratley placed his MG Metro in second place alongside Matti Alimakki and his Lancia Delta. Alimakki, who sealed his pole in the finals by the second heat, would strategically enter the third heat to fight against championship leader and rival Niedermacki, to disrupt his position for the final race's grid. This tactic would work by dropping Niedermacki down to fourth in the finals, with Dagfinn Larsen claiming third with his twin-turbo modified Metro. Despite Alimakki's pace and tactics leading into the finals, Niedermacki would impress all by taking the lead along the outside of turn 1 with a great start from the second row. From then on, no one could catch him, and he would go on to claim another victory, with Alimakki focused more on securing second as Bolnasset pressured from behind. The championship would then arrive to its traditional home of Lidenhill for the second last championship round. The first heat would start with intense battles between Schanche and Niedermacki fighting for first, along with Renison and Alimakki fighting for third. Schanche would win the first heat and seal his pole position by the second heat. Home hero Mark Renison would secure second place in the third heat, with Niedermacki and Gollop putting in an impressive fight in the fourth heat to secure their places for the finals. Schanche and his Ford would again take the lead from the line, but this time Renison was right behind. Renison attempted to pass a few times but just couldn't get the upper hand on Schanche. Despite this, the pair would fight down to the very end, with Schanche crossing the line a mere 3/10 ahead of Renison. Niedermacki would cross the finish line in third place with a good points haul, almost securing his title then and there. Heading into the season finale at Estering, Germany, Niedermacki would confirm his position in the championship by securing pole position by the second heat, with Renison alongside in second, and championship rival Schanche lined up third ahead of Alimakki. Once the finals started, Niedermacki would take the lead with Schanche right behind all the way to the second corner, where Schanche would lunge alongside Niedermacki until he spun under braking. The pair would collide, heading into the gravel trap, taking both drivers out of the race, and securing Niedermacki's championship by just 7 points. Just 3 drivers would finish that race, with Renison winning despite Alimakki putting the pressure on throughout the race. The 1987 season would go on to set the new standard for Rallycross, as Group B would come to dominate the sport until the 1993 regulation changes. The coinciding influx of Group B fans bolstered the sport, effectively pushing Rallycross into its first golden age. The cars would continue to evolve throughout their time at Rallycross, adjusting to the new racing format by becoming faster, lighter, and more powerful, building upon their already legendary rally form. One example of this is Will Gollop's MG Metro 6R4, which went from a naturally aspirated 3-litre V6 producing 435 brake horsepower to a turbocharged 2.3-litre V6 in 1992, producing a whopping 700 brake horsepower. Despite the constantly evolving nature of these already dangerous machines, and the extreme nature of Rallycross racing, it might surprise you that Rallycross actually provided a much safer environment for these monstrous cars to thrive in than Rally ever could. The shortened tracks limited the cars from reaching the immense speeds they would usually reach during a rally, along with the surrounds of the track being protected by tyre barriers instead of trees, and trackside marshals on standby for any serious crash that may occur. The risk of major incidents was immensely reduced. Regarding the extremely passionate fans that Group B attracted, They were safely spectating from grandstands and viewing areas behind barriers, essentially creating a coliseum for these Grand Titans to clash and allowing the fans to watch from a safe distance. These aspects made the sport inherently much safer for all involved, especially compared to the machine's rallies past. Group B has continued to be a prevalent force within Rallycross and its history. As recently as 2023, there has been a pair of electric converted Lancia Deltas competing in the RX-1Es category. Rally legend Sebastian Loeb even piloted one of the machines, driving the passion behind Group B cars into a new modern light. Unfortunately, these Deltas are no longer competing after a fire destroyed the pair while they were charging in the 4th round of 2023. The passion behind Group B machines and rallying has continued to flourish through to the modern day, with every motorsport fan knowing and admiring the otherworldly feeling they invoke. It's nearly a privilege to see them in action. With new videos and hype edits constantly flooding social media portraying their prowess on a rally stage, it almost seems as if their grand story ceased after their ban from rally in 1987, as media and historical sources about their time in Rallycross, and sources on Rallycross history in general, are scarce to say the least. Their rebirth was integral to the growth of Rallycross, along with their continued development and tough racing in spite of their supposed death is nothing short of inspiring. Despite these machines now being relegated to historic rallies and showcases, it is always great to see and learn more about the racing history of these motorsport titans.